So we're now ready for the news, and we'll take the headlines now.
The government says 2014 budget will focus on the reining in the budget deficit, growing the economy, and meeting its comments on to infrastructure.
Minority in Parliament caution government against overspending as it prepares to present the 2014 budget next week.
And head count of staff at KORLE-BU hospital reveals the facility may have over 1,000 ghost workers on the payroll.
That'll be very interesting as we look at the news in details, and that'll be shortly. But again, keep getting interactive through the social network pages we've provided for you. We have Joy News on TV on Facebook, and also my personal handle on Twitter, Rowalker Ghana, and a short code we've provided for you as well.
And Akosia Knedu on Facebook. Do stay on. I'll be right back.
Now, let's start with the details. And the Minister of Information and Media Relations, Mahama Yariga, has indicated government's main objectives in the 2014 budget will be to manage the ballooning deficit, grow the economy, and meet commitments to infrastructure development. He was addressing the media at the Flagstaff House here in Accra.
How different will this budget be? I think we will find out next week when the Finance Minister presents it to the House. But, I mean, all sort of speculations are out there. I think that there's merit to all the speculations. Clearly, our target will continue to be how to manage the deficit. Our objective will continue to be how to grow the economy, how to create more jobs, how to meet our commitments in terms of infrastructure development, and how to ensure greater efficiency in the management of public finances and resources. Those will continue to be major priorities, but the exact objective and the full details will be presented to us next week, following today's discussion by Cabinet. And if Cabinet approves what is presented to Cabinet today, then we will know the full details. I'm unable to give you details as at now.
Mahama Yariga also touched on ensuring prudence in managing the public resources. He was emphatic the 2014 budget will show the extent to which government's target for 2013 has been met.
When you project to resolve the energy crisis, let's say by May, you are expecting to get gas from Nigeria by May. And so in your budget, you prepare for payment to VRA for fuel, for crude oil, is that okay? For up to May, for the use of their thermal plants. And then by May, you don't get the gas from Nigeria. And you still have to provide funding for them to continue to generate energy. That is outside the budget. And so you would be driven to have to spend beyond what you projected to spend. That becomes a problem. And one of the problems that we realized also was the fact that we borrow domestically and the interest rates are relatively very high. And that is why we went to the international financial markets, took some money to at least settle some of the domestic loans because they have a higher interest rate, so that the interest rate charges alone, which is becoming quite a worry, will also reduce.
The minority is cautioning government to do its homework well before laying the 2014 budget to minimize the challenges currently being experienced in the economy. According to Deputy Minority Leader, most of the problems currently being encountered are the result of government's failed projects in the 2013 budget, and warns that it cannot be business as usual. Joy News parliamentary correspondent Emmanuel Ante has more.
One of the key issues the Deputy Minority Leader says they will be looking out for is spending beyond limits approved in the budget. He says such breaches of the appropriation law should attract the appropriate penalties.
We will not, as a parliament, accept excuses any longer where government spends beyond the appropriation. Appropriation is a law passed by parliament. Budget concludes with what we call an appropriation act, which is a law passed by parliament. Government cannot keep breaking that law and then expect the others to obey the laws. So if you break that law, if we have given you a ceiling of a certain amount and passed it in the form of a law, then stick to those limits. The moment a government decides to break the law and spend beyond what they did, like what happened in 2012, and it's possible may happen in 2013, then I think that we have a big problem.
The concern over the ballooning deficit was, however, not restricted to members of the minority.
I expected the Minister of Finance to tackle that area, and I expected him to still downgrade at least the deficit. I don't know whether this year we'll be able to achieve the target of the 9% deficit that was set up. If we are, that would be very good, so that by next year we should move around 7 to 6%, which is normal of the budget deficit. But the 12% budget deficit was really, I can't remember the spillover of this is what we are feeling the effect right now. If we want to be sincere to ourselves.
The minority, according to Dominic Nitiwu, also intends to raise findings contained in the JIDA report.
For the last 12 months, or will I even say 10 months, there have been serious issues with JIDA. We want to be looking at what resources government is putting and where they are putting those resources. Are the resources geared towards something that will help the people of Ghana, or they are geared towards areas where individuals can siphon money into their pockets, that is to turn state money into private pockets? We'll be looking at some of these things.
The majority leader, in his reaction, however, urged the minority to exercise restraint and first hear what is contained in the budget.
You don't start with an assumption that even a budget that has not yet been come to parliament is bad. And so you must do something against it to show that you are working as a parliament. You have not seen it yet. So if you already have a mindset, then you must criticize when you have not seen what is there. If you listen to the VAT debate, did you know who was majority and who was minority? We engage the issues as it should be. That is how these debates should be. But we are all coming with our arsenals. Oh, we're going to defeat this budget this year. You've not seen the budget. You say, oh, we won't agree. This budget will pass through. At the end, there's no debate. The merits of what people say is no more important. You'll be rushing through voting. But we as Parliament have to also be broad-minded.
Meanwhile, the House has completed the consideration of the VAT 2013 bill and is expected it will be passed on Friday, November 15. Emmanuel Lante, reporting for Joy News.
We now turn our attention to health, and a head count of staff on the payroll of the KORLE-BU Teaching Hospital has revealed there could be as many as 1,052 ghost workers drawing more salaries. Well, another 490 could not also be accounted for. The audit was prompted after recent protests from some newly employed nurses that they had not been paid for nearly 2 years they've been working at the hospital.
Salaries of staff of the KORLE-BU Teaching Hospital have always been on the Government of Ghana payroll, but had to be internally sourced after government mandated the hospital to explore internally generated funds as a result of pay disputes. The board, hospital management and the Ministry of Health became concerned when more than 30 nurses did not pick up their checks. Acting Chief Executive of KORLE-BU, Reverend Albert Botwe, explains the findings of the head count.
A total of 4,252 staff of the hospital are on the GOG payroll, while 347 are on our IGF payroll. For the newly employed nurses, there were a total of 423. In total, we have 5,022 staff on the payroll of KORLE-BU Teaching Hospital. Out of the 4,252 staff on the GOG payroll, only 2,752 personally appeared and checked their names during the head count exercise. An alarming 1,052 number of staff did not present themselves to be counted.
The hospital, however, says systems have been put in place to make sure this does not repeat itself.
that we need to actually do more than just the human dimension in relation to monitoring staff movements. That's why this e-payroll system is being introduced. We have plans to install the clocking system that will also serve as an additional check on who is actually present.
There are inherent lapses in the overall payroll system at KORLE-BU. What is worthy of note, however, is that the ghost names will not be possible without collusion with departmental heads. It will take more than an electronic payroll system to end the rot in government institutions. It will take a concerted effort among all stakeholders. For Joy News, Marian Ture reporting.
There appears to be no end in sight to the current challenges facing students of the Senior High Technical School and the demonstration School for the Deaf at Mampong in the Eastern Region. The school's authority says they have still not received any response to the letter written to the Regional Ghana Highway Authority to address the road safety challenges.
Gad Ewuku, a teacher at the School for the Deaf, was involved in an accident a month ago on the Ebri-Mampong Highway near the School for the Deaf with his 3-year-old son who died on the spot.
He's saying that after the accident, he has not been feeling well, he has been feeling very bad, especially when he remembers the son that died during the accident. He's a very lively child that always creates fun in the house.
Even though he tells me he's been to the classroom for about a week now, just to assist, he has had to close early.
Since the accident, he has not been coming to school. Just this week that I come to school just to help those people there for about 1 hour or 2, and then he goes back to the house since he cannot do any strenuous work. He feels a lot of pain in the head, and then he has also experienced some kind of chest pain, and that is the problem he's facing now.
At the Ghana Education Service office at the Kuapem North, officials confirmed the Regional Highway Authority has been notified of the road safety challenge.
This and many of such incidents indeed call for speed ramps to be erected there. Letter came to us, and we have written a covering letter to the Ghana Highway, Kufurija precisely, to take action. And we expect that the regional manager would get back to us with a positive response.
The municipal director explains the problem is not one that can be solved with just speed ramps or rumble strips.
We'll be glad if the government would supply them a new bus. The former headmaster requested for one. So far, we haven't heard anything. But I think we can make the appeal again through this medium so that the government can look at the plight of the school and do something about the safety of these children. They indeed need a bus.
Although the director noted they are making frantic efforts to legalize some acres of land acquired by the school some years back, headmaster of the Senior High Technical revealed the lands have been taken back by the owners. Until a permanent solution is found to the plight of the students, however, commuting from dormitories to classrooms will remain a life-threatening venture.
Well, so that'll be it for the morning. And please get interactive on our Facebook and Twitter pages, as we've already told you. Now, let's give you a recap of our top stories.
Government says 2014 budget will focus on reining in the budget deficit, growing the economy, and meeting its commitments to infrastructure.
Minority in Parliament cautions government against overspending as it prepares to present the 2014 budget to the country next month.
And head count of staff at KORLE-BU reveals the facility may have over 1,000 ghost workers on its payroll.
Well, that'll be it for the news details we have for the morning. Up next, we're going to give you more in-depth sports on AM Sports, and it's up next.
Welcome back. Now we have a lot of qualifiers ahead of Brazil 2014 this weekend. On the African continent, most of them happen to be the final leg qualifiers to next year's World Cup. Nigeria will be in action, La Côte d'Ivoire will be in action, Ghana will be in action, but Ghana's happens to be next week, Tuesday, November 19. So let's just check out the full fixtures for the World Cup 2014 qualifiers, but on the African continent. Right, so we have Nigeria hosting Ethiopia in Nigeria. Of course, we also have Senegal taking on La Côte d'Ivoire. Cameroon, they host Tunisia. Egypt take on Ghana on Tuesday. And then we have Algeria up against Burkina Faso. These are the qualifiers that are coming up in Africa. Remember that all of these matches are the final leg playoffs for next year's World Cup. Also coming up, there are matches in Europe. A lot of them are deciders, also for ahead of Brazil 2014. Let's check out qualifiers that are coming up in the European zone. We have Iceland taking on Croatia. Greece, they host Romania. Sweden travel to Portugal. France hosts Ukraine. And this is very, very dicey, especially as we have the likes. It's either Zlatan Ibrahimovic or Cristiano Ronaldo. One of them will not be at the World Cup next year. Remember that Cristiano Ronaldo plays for Portugal and Zlatan Ibrahimovic plays for Sweden. So that's what's going to happen. One of them will not be in Brazil next year. Right, there are other fixtures also coming up, but these are not fixtures ahead of Brazil 2014. They are just international friendly fixtures. Let's check them out. Right, so we have Ireland taking on Latvia, Italy taking on Germany, Poland, they are taking on Slovakia. We have England up against Chile, and Scotland, they take on the USA. Remember that the likes of USA, Germany have all qualified in addition to Italy. So those are some friendly internationals that are coming up. Right, so we are still getting ready for Season 7 of the annual Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. Now, 16 teams are going to be participating in various games at the LX Sports Stadium on that day. Almost all of the 16 teams, including Team Multimedia, say they are winning all the trophies available. But unfortunately, there are only 3 major trophies, and it's the penalties for the CEOs, and then we have the football match, and then we're also going to have the Team Spirit Award. And I don't know who is taking which now. So far, all the 16 teams say they are fired up. But in our corporate interviews, the train stopped at Vivo Energy Ghana Limited, and Vivo are the sole distributors of Shell products here in Ghana and across Africa. And they say that the name Vivo means alive, and so they are coming to set Elwak ablaze on November 23.
To take over. This is the first time we are coming. We are coming over to take over. We are going to dismantle everything that comes our way that day.
Watch out. You are talking about the star of 2004. You are talking about somebody who was the champion, University of Ghana. You are talking about people who are holding records. In fact, we are fired up.
I'm taking part in wrestling, 4x4. I'm the top striker of the team. and at the same time, I'm the coach.
But the training we've seen of him, clearly, some Real Madrid and Manchester United be poaching him. So I'm putting myself as the agent for him. I don't want any bad contract for him. So my MD is the winner. He's going to win after somebody will poach him. So I'm in charge. So if you want to talk to him, please come through me.
Right, and so that's what's going to happen. This is just the tip of the iceberg of many things that you see on November 23 at the Airwax Sports Stadium in Season 7 of the annual Joy Sports Invitational. I'll be back at midday to bring you the latest from the camp of the senior national team, the Black Stars, who are currently in Istanbul, Turkey, preparing for next Tuesday's World Cup qualifier against Egypt. And of course, yesterday a delegation from Ghana met officials from FIFA and as well as officials from the Egyptian Football Association in Cairo to put finishing touches to the various security measures ahead of that game. Remember that there's still a bit of unrest. Okay, there's a bit of unrest in Egypt as we speak, especially in Cairo. And so the Ghanaian FA, the Ghanaian ministry, and indeed the government of Ghana would ensure that every single person who would represent the red, gold, green, and black star of Ghana is safe when they go for that game and return. So I'll bring you details of that one on News Today this afternoon. My name is Rashida Baba Kadiri. Sports is made possible by the kind courtesy of Tigo. Smile, you've got Tigo.